How's it going, guys? Today I want to do an unboxing on the Predator 1800 watt conventional generator. We're going to open her up, see what you get in here, see if it's any count. And I'm going to, later on, I got a small inverter welder I'm going to try out on it. It's for 110. Let's see if this sucker's any good. I'll put the box open over here. Let's see what we're getting here. Well, you get your manual, 1800 watts, 1400 running watts. Let's see what she looks like. This thing weighs about 60 pounds, so it claims. Well, see right off the bat, there was a little ding to the, well, maybe not, just the spark arrestor's on crooked. Other than that, back here in the back, you got you a funnel with a hose. That's nice. And they added in the 12-volt connectors, which this one has the actual cigarette lighter plug and a spark plug wrench. And your manual. And right here it says, what does that say? Remove. Let's put that down. I like stickers down there at the Harbor Freight. It says remove orange shipping block from under frame before adding oil or gasoline. Operate generator with the bracket installed, it voids a warranty. What bracket they're talking about is okay, when they ship this thing, underneath here, because you see your engine's on rubber mounts, well, underneath here you got a block of cardboard, you got wood blocks zip tied on right here, and there's two yellow things right here zip tied, or not, I mean bolted in the frame and bolted to the engine. You need to remove those before you operate it, because it'll cause over vibration to the engine and the frame and make everything fall apart. And it's possible you'll crack the engine, and that won't be good, because I bought one of these Chinese ones just like this offline. The engine was mounted solid to the frame, and it was vibrating and stuff that it shouldn't need to vibrate it. But whatever, I'm going to grab a 10mm wrench that they don't supply, and I'll get these bolts pulled out. Okay, you're going to need a 10mm wrench and a 13mm socket, so remember that if you don't unbox it before you go out to camp or whatever. You're going to need to take all this stuff off and get this thing ready before you go, and they don't include these tools. So you're going to want to pull these out. You might save these bolts. Just nice bolts there. You might need them later on. Okay, the engine doesn't have no nuts, so we need a 10mm socket. And the bolts thread right into the aluminum. You might hang on to these brackets in case you ever ship it anywhere, but I think that's for like for, you know, when they ship it, it may sit on its side, it might be upside down. And without this stuff in here, these would break off. These will rubber vibration mounts could break off in shipping, and when you got it home, you'd be mad because your generator was broke. And whatever, I'm gonna take these two because these holes are threaded in the bottom of the engine, and I think I'm just gonna screw these back in there. Okay, no I'm not, because they stopped before they touched the bottom of the engine. So I'll just put them up for other projects. You always need bolts and nuts. Brackets. Yeah, we'll put them over there. Screwdriver, got a zip tie right here. It's a pretty hefty duty one. Just break it like that. Throw them extra blocks back in there. And at least they do package it good. And now you notice, if nobody don't know what this little silver thing is right here that's connected to the exhaust, runs around, that is an EGR valve. Most people don't know what that is. What that does is, see, there's a little scuff in the paint, I don't like that. Other than that, that's an EGR valve. What that does is allows fresh air to get pulled into the exhaust as it comes out of the head, so the unburned gases will burn before they go in the exhaust pipe. That's past EPA standards. Now, do I like that? No, because it's going to make your engine fail, I'd think, prematurely, because it adds a lot of heat to your exhaust valve, just like if you run an open header. But that's how they design everything now. And there's probably some kind of catalyst inside this muffler, I imagine. Okay, then we go back to the E10 approval. Okay, anybody know what makes this thing E10 approved? This new vent everybody's seeing on the gas tank that's got a line coming out and it's actually running around. And I think this one connects to the breather, but a lot of times they connect to the vent on the carburetor. And what it's supposed to happen is your carburetor and your fuel tank vent into each other, so there's less chance of just oxygen coming in the top of the fuel tank and the fuel collecting moisture and going bad. And that's why they're doing that now. So that's why they say E10's okay. And they make the gas lines out of something else so they don't get all jacked up. But got you a screen and all that. You always notice these new ones, you open it and about an inch down in there, there's a red line that says fill line. That's because this whole top part of the fuel tank collect fumes, which you can fill it up past that, but sometimes they leak gas on top of the fuel tank. It says add oil. There's no oil in there, and I'll get out the oil that I recommend. Okay, this is the oil that I recommend. This is VP small engine oil, and whereas generator holds about half a quart. This says it's for SAE 30 or 10W30, which if you live in the Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma environment, where most of the time it's between 105 degrees and usually no colder than 60 degrees, this is what you want to use. Now if you're like in Alaska, when it's like negative 30, you might want to look more into thinner weight oil, but this is an air-cooled engine. So, and this is supposed to mix with varied climates, and we have varied climates here. It might be 100 degrees today, it might be snowing tomorrow. That's just how Arkansas is. But whatever. Right here's the oil plug underneath the cylinder head. I'm actually going to turn the generator on its side, and hopefully I don't break nothing. It's easier for me to get to. There's no fuel, so I noticed right off the bat there's been oil in here because it's all over the stick. So I'm pretty sure it's been test ran at the factory, and I don't know why Harbor Freight doesn't include break-in oil. So I feel like break-in oil included would be nice. But I'll get out the provided funnel. I know they give you a dipstick on these things, but you're supposed to fill it to the top of the threads. So if it's down at the bottom of the dipstick, it's about out of oil. And this doesn't have an oil pump, it has an oil slinger. And that's what oils everything. So if you're running it down on the tip of this stick, and you're screwing it in to check it, you ain't got enough oil in there. And that's not good. So I'm going to sit here and fill it up with the funnel they provided. Like I said, it don't hold about half a quart. And I might have to go get some more because I used some of this oil. But like I said, don't take much. You do want to check this before you run this thing all the times, even though it's supposed to be equipped with a little shut off. Now I'm going to turn it back up right. And I'm going to need some more oil to operate this thing. Well, it's right there in the threads. I'll put some more in it later. But there's enough there for now, as it shows in this picture. Which I like most stuff be a little bit over full than under full, I'd think. But got that in there. Alright. We'll pause and get some gas. Alright, I got her gassed up. I'm going to change the sensitivity on the mic so it don't blow your speakers out of your TV. But yeah, I like the rubber covers. I noticed something too. Okay, all the new generators by the government are equipped with the automatic carbon monoxide sensor built in. And if you look, this one's located right here, this little Chinese box. I think this one's got a speaker in it or something. I don't know. I don't know how good that's going to last because I think it's got some kind of battery that's running that. Because on the last generator review, I noticed it shut off, that the light was flashing after the engine stopped. And I know there's some kind of battery that's probably going to go bad over time, but I don't know. I ain't took never one of these apart. But we'll crank it up and see how she does. Gas is on. No leaks. Keys on. One pull. Two pulls. Oh. I'm going to turn the choke off. Pretty good. You hear all that clicking noise, that's your valves and stuff clicking in there. They leave them a little loose. But as you see, they added on here, it says right here, 70 pounds weight when it's full of fuel and oil. And I mean, these are pretty good motors. And 98 cc. Like I said, I don't know about all this smog stuff. You can see they add you a charcoal filter and all that. That's more to do with, you know, EGR and getting rid of gas fumes is what that's supposed to be for. But I guess all that's alright. But a lot of this stuff is getting into compromising the life of the engine to keep dirty shit from getting into air. And you know, that's how I feel about it. But I give you a warranty. But like I said, I noticed this one. The other ones, the inverters say, don't run it unless you got fuel stabilizer in the fuel. And these do not. And I wonder what the difference is there. Because the other one said if you don't put stabilizer in the fuel, it's going to void the warranty. But other than that, I think it'll work. I'm going to use it, you know, if I go camping, run the house. I know it ain't an inverter, but I put an inverter video on there. And back on the 1400 watt inverter one, I ended up taking it back and getting this one, because it would give me a problem with the eco throttle after I start it. He got to where every now and then you jerk the rope to crank her up, and it would hold the throttle wide open, and the red light would come on and kill the engine. And you do it again, and then turn that switch on and off and do it, and you get it to run right. And I was afraid it was going to take out, and $500 was a lot to lose. And whatever, I took it back. I was going to get my money back and buy, you know, a real GoPro for the next Florida rides. And they told me that they changed the rules, so you cannot, we can return it, but it's going to be a $90 restock fee to return it, or you can exchange for another one or an upgrade. So I told her, I was like, well, I don't want the inverter one. I like the inverter one, but I want to go for a conventional one. That way I ain't got to worry about electronic throttle messing up, because it's all manual governor and all that. So I will tell you, the inverters are nice. They do save you fuel. That one didn't hold like a quart of gas. This one holds like a gallon and a half. This one's got 9 hours of run time. That one's got 7. The price difference, if you ain't worried about the noise, I'd go with this model, because I've used these and I know they're top of line. The inverter ones are good, but I did notice the bad on the 1400 watt, because all the heat comes out the back, but the intake vents where it sucks in fresh air is on the bottom. So I noticed that when we ran it that one night, it had dust accumulated on the carburetor and stuff in there when I went to take the oil back out. But that was the only issue I had. It still operated. It was scaring me a little bit, because every time I crank it, it'd go wide open and kill it. And a couple times after doing that, it started ticking. And, you know, I didn't want to lose $500. So I just took this for what they gave me. So, but, you know, I ain't worried about the noise. But that's what I was going for, was, you know, something quiet and lightweight. But this will do what I need to do. And I'll probably add, I'm going to go do another part of the video where I'm going to plug the little 80 amp Chicago electric inverter welder in here, and I'm going to see if it'll run it. I don't know if it will or not. It says it draws 20 amps. So this should be able to run it. It'll be right there at the end. Probably have to use small rod. But everybody, if you made it this far, like and subscribe. And I'm going to go do that.